Rankerpedia. Rankerpedia gives you lists with ranking about everything. For more information and to read this documentary, feel free to visit website in description box. Skip to content. Venus is closer, but why we are going to Mars. Whether it's about living on Mars or on Venus, human beings are always attracted towards being an extraterrestrial species. But living on Mars is comparably a better option than Venus. Here are some factors explaining why is it so. Okay, so let's begin our journey from the Earth to find a new better option to live outside the Earth permanently. Here are the top 7 reasons why living on Mars is more suitable for life than Venus are as follows. 7. Temperature on Mars and Venus. Temperature plays a critical role if we are checking habitability of any planet. Mars have an average temperature of -55 degrees Celsius 218 K, means 67 degrees Fahrenheit. But on equator at noon, surface temperature can reach up to 20. Venus have an bone melting average temperature of 864 degrees Fahrenheit, means 462 degrees Celsius. The reason behind the fierce temperature of Venus is the gases present in the atmosphere. The atmosphere of Venus is composed of 96.5% of carbon dioxide, which traps the sunlight inside the planet, which further leads to the greenhouse effect and then in temperature increase. To know what is greenhouse effect, kindly visit website. 6. Water on Mars. Water on red planet. Recent NASA and ISRO research concludes that Mars have water on its south and north pole. Water is in the form of ice. Now at least we can think we will not die here by dehydration. Water on Venus, its surface temperature of is 462 and the water's boiling point is 100. That's the reason why all the water of this massive round ball flown out away. And now Venus is no more than a dry hot giant. From that point, living on Mars could be a better option. 5. Electric wind on Venus and Mars. Electric winds is one of the most relevant information to predict the survival of a planet in future. It is an airflow arises by solar wind in the non-magnetic planet's atmosphere, which have power to wipe out all essential gases like oxygen, nitrogen and finally whole atmosphere of planet. Venus's electric wind. It have a strong electric wind of 10 V. It is same strong as you use to blow your home's LED bulb. But only that much it takes to escape oxygen out of the planet. Venus's high temperature leads to water boil and settling up in sky in the form of steam and hydrogen and oxygen ions, and then its electric winds wipe out all the oxygen, ions and similar gases in the outer space. 4. Pressure on Mars and Venus. Okay, you can survive 2 days without water, but you definitely can't survive a single minute if air pressure outside is high. Are much lower than human body or astronaut stress can tolerate. Air pressure on Mars. The atmosphere of Mars is very thin and light as compared to Earth. That's why the atmospheric pressure is L. And only 6.0 millibars. It's only 0.6% as compared to the Earth's atmospheric pressure of 1.13 bar. Air pressure on Venus. It have very thick atmosphere composed of mainly carbon dioxide and have a skull-crushing 93 bar pressure. This much pressure can mold your car. 3. Metal snow on Venus. Venus have an cruel atmosphere, thank God. Hopefully we are not there, and it rains sulfuric acid and SN. How heavy metals like lead sulfide and bismuth sulfide from an altitude of 26,000 meters above the ground. 2. Expanding sun. Recent research concludes that our sun is consistently burning hydrogen and helium in its womb, which leads the brightening and expansion of sun, and finally about 6 billion years after it will take Mercury and Venus in it. By the time your millionth time grandchild taking a sip of coffee living on Mars. 1. Evolution is slow process, whether we wants living on Mars or on Venus. Human being or other organisms have to evolve for survival with respect to their surroundings. No matter what types of wearable we will wear there. Our DNA and genes have an habit of adaptation. It will definitely start showing changes at an extent. The conditions of living on Mars is far better than Venus. At least our body will have more time to evolve rather than just get crushed down or burn on Venus's 93 bar pressure and 864 degrees Fahrenheit temperature.